Well, hello there to everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm looking forward to this time with you. In fact, last Sunday was the first time we launched this episode called as Thought for Growth, and I must say we are truly humbled and honored that so many of you have commented and have subscribed to this channel. I'm excited about our time today, and I hope you will have your moment of growth. Now, just in case you're tuning in for the first time and you're wondering about the previous talk, please do find the link in the description below, and do not forget to leave your comments, and do not forget to like, subscribe and pass it on if you think it has been helpful to you. Well, today we have the second episode, and I would want to ask yet another pertinent question, and that has to do with freedom. And the question is, does freedom come free? Does freedom come free, or is it accompanied? Well, since the lockdown, my son Kevin and daughter Gracie has been after my life to get them a pet. Gracie in particular is head over heels in love with any dog that she sees around in our society. Even if it's a street dog, she is willing to trade us, her family, for the dog. But you see, we stay in an apartment, and with our travel schedules, it is quite hard. In fact, unimaginable to even think of keeping a dog with us. But their persistence paid off, and I had to settle in for a ball of 2 goldfish. You could see how excited they are and they were when they got it, constantly monitoring them and hovering around them. They even named the 2 of the fish by the best names that they like. But just before yesterday, one of the fish died. I wonder if they pampered the fish with too many pellets. Anyway, it happened to be Gracie's fish, and I had no choice but to get her another fish. Now, this new fish I have bought in from the market is quite an adventurous fish. She has attempted at least 15 to 20 times, believe me, to jump out of this bag. But as I kept looking at the fish attempting to gain freedom from jumping out of the bag, a thought suddenly crossed my mind. I only wish I could speak to the fish in English and the fish could understand English. I could say to the fish, "Dear fish, I know you want freedom from your surroundings, but you see, your real freedom is in the water and not outside of the water. Your freedom is in the water and not outside of your water." This little creature might want to think otherwise and jump out of the water. But you see, the problem is the fish might use its own freedom to jump out of the water and eventually take away or snub all her freedom once for all. But here is the funny fact. Who of us have not aspired for absolute freedom? All of us have, haven't we? You talk to a teenager, he or she would say, "मुझको आजादी चाहिए." किससे चाहिए? घर से, लोगों से, विचारधाराओं से. Now, what are they really saying? They're basically saying, well, I don't like the boundaries set on my life at all. But then a good question to ask is, can we really enjoy freedom without the boundaries around us? Can we really enjoy unrestrained freedom at all, or absolute freedom at all? Now, imagine with me, you and I are playing a game of football. Let's say it's a tournament. We are playing in 2 different teams. Oh, we love the game. It's going so good. We're having fun time. But there is a problem, and the problem is the referee. Now, the referee in the game seems to be a bit harsh on us. He is giving us cards, he's calling fouls, he's disqualifying our players, and he's not letting us play the game the way we want to play it. He seems to be more of an obstruction than adding pleasure to the game by allowing us the way we want to play it. So we all get together and decide to give him a break. So we send him home for a cup of coffee. How's that? Now we decided to play without the referee and no rules either. How do you think the game is going to look like now? While, of course, we may have a bit of fun and all the freedom to play the game as we want to play it, but believe me, it is going to be an absolute chaos. And someone watching us from the outside would be the first one to witness the commotion on the ground. And if you were to ever ask him or her, what are these guys playing? He or she would never be able to say it is a game of football. Now, why is that so? Why is the confusion in that person's mind? That is because as much as we dislike the rules, it is the rules that define the game and make it a game of football. You see, by throwing the rules off the game, we not only throw the rules out, but the game with it. It is called as throwing the baby with the bathtub. Hence, if you and I were to really enjoy the game, you and I have no choice but adhere to the rules of the game. It is the rules that keep and protect the game and not vice versa. You see, I have a license that is given to me by the India government, and I can drive anywhere within the country. But does that give me the freedom to drive any way I like and anyhow I feel? Well, you might say some people still do, and I agree totally. And you also see the aggression and the commotion on the road all around us, don't you? But you see, if I abuse my freedom, I might use the freedom to jump the signal light or drive the vehicle whichever side of the road I like. But by using my freedom to do what I can and what I want, I might jeopardize my freedom once for all by being in an accident, and of course, I will jeopardize the life of the others on the road as well. Hence, what am I trying to say? Freedom isn't absolute, my friend. It comes with boundaries. It comes with restraints. In fact, it is the boundaries and the restraints that protect our freedom. Remember the story of the lady caught up in adultery in the Bible brought to Jesus? Interestingly, the man is missing and only the lady is brought. And the one who brought her demand that she be killed for the act of adultery. But Jesus stoops and writes on the ground and he says, "He who is without sin may cast the first stone." Well, all of them who brought her retreat. Can you imagine the joy of the lady? She came to die, but yet life is given to her. She is given her freedom back. But then Jesus has his parting words to her, and Jesus says, "Lady, go and sin no more." Life is given, freedom is restored, but boundaries are set. And Jesus says, "Sin no more." Well, what is sin? Sin is nothing but the violation of the purpose for which you are made. Take, for example, an aeroplane. The intended purpose of an aeroplane is to transport people from point A to point B. But what is the violation of this purpose? It is when an aeroplane is used as a killing machine and you ram the aeroplane into a building. You see, it is also interesting that your car insurance has a clause to it which most of us don't read. It says, if the car is used other than its intended purpose, you will stand forfeited to any claims. That means you have to use the car for the intended purpose for which the car has been made. Everything, my friend, has an intended purpose to it, a purpose for which it is created. And you and I, my friend, have an intended purpose too for which we are created. You and I are not an accident that happened in a laboratory or a random collocation of atoms, not at all. You are created by God for a purpose. And finding your purpose and living within those parameters of the purpose is actually what makes life meaningful for each one of us. You also might remember the story in the book of Exodus where the Israelites traveled up to Mount Sinai and Moses treks up the mountain and receives the parameters to live by. What are those? You would know it probably by heart. Do not have any other God. Do not make any carved images. Treat my name with respect. Keep the day of rest holy. Show respect to your father and mother. Do not kill another human being. Husbands and wives, be loyal to one another. In short, don't go off with another man's wife or another man's belonging. Do not steal. Do not tell lies. Do not be greedy. Well, did the Israelites follow them? Not at all. You know the story. In fact, even before Moses could trek down with the parameters, the people had already broken the rules. Well, has humanity been able to adhere to any of these parameters? It will be a resounding no. We have killed, we have lied, we have stolen, we have been greedy, we have disrespected our marriage vows and whatnot. In fact, take any day's newspaper and you will find those that have abused their freedom and snubbed away someone else's freedom. As a matter of fact, Jesus takes all the laws given by Moses, about 613 laws, and reduces it to just 2. What are they?
Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might, and with all thy strength. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
But here is what I want you to notice. Please notice the order in which Christ puts it. Love your God first and then your neighbor. Catch me when I say this. When your object of love, your passion is set right, your perspective towards others is also set right at the same time. When your object of love, your passion is set right, your perspective towards others is also set right at the same time. And it is here the scripture promises us a new heart. In the book of Ezekiel, it says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you a heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. And Jesus fulfills that promises for us. I had the privilege of interning with a rehabilitation home for drug addicts in Calcutta. I remember that day when I was with a particular man who was deep into drugs and was recovering at the home. As we both read the Bible together, he stopped and said, "Alas, oh God, I have violated all this that the Bible talks about." He had this sudden sense of grief all over him. My friends, I would like to say this, even the realization of sin, violation of your purpose, is the work of God upon your life. Can I ask you a question today? Have you been in the pursuit of freedom and in the pursuit got yourself trapped? Have you been like the fish I got from the market trying to jump out of the water, and you have perhaps succeeded in the process of jumping out, but you have now found yourself breathless and hopelessly lost? Yes, you and I have hope. We have hope in Jesus Christ. For Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." You shall know that person called Jesus Christ, and that person of Jesus will set you free. So is freedom absolute, my friend? No. Freedom comes with boundaries. You see, even the batsman who is playing on the crease knows that he has more freedom to play and longevity to his innings if he honors the crease. My question to you is, would you honor the parameters God has put upon your life? Would you come to Him and tell Him, "Dear Lord, I have probably sinned. I have probably violated the purposes for which you have created me. Would you forgive me?" And that prayer is good enough to set you right, to play within the crease, and to bring you abundance to your life. In the next session, we're going to look at one more accompaniment that comes along with freedom. So tune in and watch out. I will see you next Saturday. God bless you.